Hello, I'm Jonathan Womack. Welcome to this edition of Community Insiders. We get out and about in the community, bring you to the haunted attractions of Rigor Mortis right here in McMinnville, Tennessee. Going to tell you more about behind the scenes and what it means for you and your family having a good time. So stay tuned. All that noise in behind me is more to come right here on this edition of Community Insider.
All the equipment and things like that they had, I like that they did. At one point they had it looked like some kind of shaman or a wizard or something to lift somebody out of a coffin. And then they ran a hula hoop through it to show that, you know, that there was nothing below her. And that was really impressive. It was cool because I've been to a lot of haunted houses, and there was more cinematics, I would say, than just jump scares. And I was pretty impressed by that. So I think overall it was a pretty good time. I really did enjoy it.
Our production company believes really high in quality shows. So therefore we worked with an illusionist called Terry Evanswood. Terry Evanswood is a Merlin award-winning illusionist to create some of the best effects in the magic industry. No haunted house has ever done what we've done before, and we're excited to share a piece of that with you this year.
You know, we got the newest Halloween movie with Jamie Lee Curtis back battling Michael Myers, to La Corona with the Conjuring series, and then we got your favorite ones of the Friday the 13th and the Day of the Dead and Stephen King's number of films here.
Did you know that there was a murder that happened right here? Let's get the story started.
Well, it was close to here anyway. This used to be the location of the Warren House Inn, later Sedbury Hotel that people remember. Our first photographer in McMinnville, a fellow by the name of Fletch Woodard, that lived where the Chamber of Commerce sits today, where the community room is, had done photography forever and ever, but he was not too well liked by the people that ran Warren House Inn because they had been for the Southern cause during the Civil War, and he was for the North, and he and the town marshal would trip across the
Welcome to another edition of Community Insider. Join us as we travel Middle Tennessee, uncovering history and experiencing the adventure of unique stories and events coming to you inside your community.
Hey guys, my name is Jordan and I'm with Rigor Mortis Haunted Attractions. We're here at 1030 Smithville Highway in McMinnville, Tennessee, and we're excited to share with you this amazing attraction. For years, we went to places all around the world, and we wanted to bring a piece of that here. We here at Rigor Mortis wanted to create something that was unique to this location especially. There's nothing like it. So we have people coming from hour drives, you know, even out of state, and we're so appreciative of their business and trusting us to provide a quality show. And in order to do that, we hope we deliver that to you all. And we really believe strongly in what we've put out here because we've been to the best of the best, and we wanted to bring just a taste of that to McMinnville.
And the scariest part was the chainsaw, and it was fun.
All right, what was some cool stuff that you liked about it?
Then people jumping out at me, but I had to go first.
Yeah. So, do you go to a lot of haunted houses? Is this one of your first?
Yeah, I go to a lot of them.
Okay, all right. So how would you rate it between a scale of 1 to 10?
A good 10, yeah.
All right.
Got my blood pressure up.
Nelson, and the most frightening part was the chainsaw man at the end.
I noticed that you went for a little jog there, right?
Yeah, it felt like he kept touching me with that chainsaw, but I think it was just somebody's hand. But he got me.
So tonight you got out with your friends. Where you guys from?
McMinnville, Tennessee.
Okay, and how would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as cool features, special effects, stuff like that?
I'd rate it a 10. It's probably the most fun thing that we've got in McMinnville right now.
All right, so you would recommend it for other folks in McMinnville and surrounding counties, right?
Yeah, it's really fun. They can enjoy it.
So Rigor Mortis, our production company, believes really high in quality shows. So therefore we worked with an illusionist called Terry Evanswood. Terry Evanswood is a Merlin award-winning illusionist to create some of the best effects in the magic industry. No haunted house has ever done what we've done before, and we're excited to share a piece of that with you this year. So we're open every Friday and Saturday all the way through November the 2nd. The times are from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. When it hits Halloween weekend and week, we'll actually be open the day before Halloween, and the whole weekend. And our times will be till midnight during then. For all information regarding times or anything, please visit our website, Rigor Mortis Haunted Attractions, or our Facebook page. We'll be happy to help you, and we're located at 1030 Smithville Highway, McMinnville, Tennessee, Suite 106. I think our overall mission for Rigor Mortis is to provide a quality show for families that's non-offensive, and we hope that whether we scare you or not, that you left entertained, because our goal and our mission is to take you out of reality for that 35 to 40 minutes. That's what you're paying for, and that's the least we can provide. So if you get scared or you laugh, we've done our job, and we can't wait to see you. So we're really excited to be able to source all of our actors here locally. They went through rigorous training to get to where they are today. So they are great at, their theatrics, and we're so excited to share what their talents that local McMinnville has to offer.
My name is Tyler. I am from Dover, Ohio, and I did enjoy it. We are out here for the weekend, and we saw this online, and we decided to come check it out. We were pretty impressed. The most fantastic part, I was really impressed with all the equipment and things like that they had. I liked that they did, at one point they had it looked like some kind of shaman or a wizard or something lift somebody out of a coffin, and then they ran a hula hoop through it to show that, that there was nothing below her, and that was really impressive. It was cool because I've been to a lot of haunted houses, and there was more cinematics, I would say, than just jump scares. And I was pretty impressed by that. So I think overall it was a pretty good time. I really did enjoy it.
My name's Alex. I'm from Dover, Ohio, and I was terrified. I haven't been to a haunted house since I was probably 12 years old, and like Tyler said, the cinematics of everything was pretty cool. I was absolutely terrified at the end. I would like to tell you guys about it, but I don't want to ruin the surprise. So you're gonna have to come and figure it out for yourself.
All right, so tell us just a little bit about what got you guys in here, and where you guys are staying, and just how you're liking Tennessee.
Okay, so we're staying up in Hickman County at an Airbnb there. We're gonna go explore Nashville over the weekend, and he just wanted to scare the living crap out of me, so we decided to find as many haunted houses as we could while we're here, and we stumbled upon this one, and it had good reviews, so we came on down.
So Rigor Mortis focuses on creating a non-offensive, fun environment for families to enjoy. Whether it's from the cinematics to the jump scares, we have it all. We touch every senses through a 35-minute walkthrough of 35,000 scare feet. So get ready and experience our monsters. They're dying to meet you.
I'm David Williams, and we're over here at Northside Video, and we've been here since 1983 in the same location on Old Smithville Road. The numbers have changed a time or two due to the city, but it's 990 now, and we're just glad to see everybody and thankful that we got good customers that keep right on coming back. Of course, a lot of you are used to seeing us on Reels to Rental, me and Susan, my wife, and we just appreciate Jonathan coming over here and taking a look inside the store with us today.
All right, so we got Halloween coming up, so an update on what you offer for folks for entertainment.
Hey, you know something, Jonathan, we've got all kinds. We get the newest movies in every Tuesday. We got some of the great classics for Halloween. You know, we've got the newest Halloween movie with Jamie Lee Curtis back battling Michael Myers, to La Corona with the Conjuring series, and then we got your favorite ones of the Friday the 13th and the Day of the Dead and Stephen King's number of films here. And we just, you know, really enjoy the Halloween season, and I think that most people here like a good scare anyway.
And so I noticed even for kids, you've got a special section like with Scooby-Doo and stuff like that.
You know something, we got Scooby-Doo, we have the Ghost Bumps, we have R.L. Stein, we've even got the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, so there's something here for about all ages. And you know, and them young at heart are the ones that are wanting to be scared from the parts of the past. On today, we got to hear that one of our horror actors that has gotten more familiar with the Rob Zombie horror films, Sid Haig, has passed away at the age of 80, and he does have a new film coming out from Rob Zombie with him in it, probably his last feature film that we'll see him in. Now, who knows how many other movies may be in the can that he's got cameos in, and you may even remember him from Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell. The first movie I actually bought on my own on the old VHS days was An American Werewolf in London in 1979. And so we're carrying from there on to the present. Of course, we even went back and picked up your old Alfred Hitchcock Psycho, The Birds, for those that can remember those at the theater, and how the Psycho movie, I don't know how many ladies was afraid to get in the shower by themselves for several months after that. And of course then you've got the George Romero's things of the Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead, and sort of the first kickoff to the big zombie movies, that now everybody's thrilled with The Walking Dead and things of that nature. So zombies have sort of took a whole different twist, right down to Pride and Prejudice zombie. It's all of it. We've got all of it here on regular DVD and Blu-ray from the big part. Of course, right here, we've highlighted the Stephen King movies and the Saw films all the way to the bottom. But we've got, I think, right at 32 Stephen King films, from The Children of the Corn to the original Carrie, to some of the hard to find like Maximum Overdrive. Of course, we have the original It, along with the new first section of It, with It number 2 out at the theater now. So there's just a big variety, and you know, it's amazing the different people that have starred in different Stephen King films, either before they got popular or after they did get popular. And Stephen King's a master of horror. People that are looking at scary films are normally looking for one of Stephen King's greats or more current films, either one, right down to The Stand, the miniseries from television.
Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. This is Discussions from the Round Table. My name is Crystal. I'm the president of Heritage Alliance. This is Bruce. He's one of our board members here. You can see the museum behind us with special hours.
Okay, we're open on Saturdays, which is a big day especially for the kids out of school and whatnot, 10 o'clock till about 2 in the afternoon. We're also currently open on Sundays, beginning at 2 o'clock till about 6 in the afternoon, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 to 6, by special appointments, and we also do tours and other things just by giving us a call and setting that up.
We are completely volunteer. Any opportunities that we have for volunteers, we're always reaching out. If you're interested in volunteering, please see myself or Bruce or any other board member. People can find out more about us by visiting our Facebook page. They can stop by the museum during operating hours. We'll also have a new YouTube channel.
The Facebook page is Warren County Heritage Center and Southern School of Photography Museum. Big long one. Also, there is a Heritage Alliance page that highlights all that Heritage Alliance does in addition to the museum. And so keep that in mind. If you gotta make a phone call and see if some of us are hanging out at the museum, 931-474-2717. And we'll talk to you and get you hooked up, answer your questions, and we do that quite often. We got a lot of questions coming to the phone.
It's a great opportunity to bring you and your family downtown. Kids can learn so much inside this museum. Bruce, did you know that there was a murder that happened right here? Let's get the story started.
Well, it was close to here anyway. This used to be the location of the Warren House Inn, later Sedbury Hotel that people remember. And many years ago, back in the 1800s, about 1873, our first photographer in McMinnville, a fellow by the name of Fletch Woodard that lived where the Chamber of Commerce sits today, where the community room is, had done photography forever and ever, but he was not too well liked by the people that ran Warren House Inn because they had been for the Southern cause during the Civil War and he was for the North. And he and the town marshal would trip across the street to the other drinking establishment, Mountain Inn, where Regions Bank sits today. But down below all of this, as all of this is transpiring, at some point the town marshal starts trying to arrest all the people slipping down to the houses of ill repute down in Depot Bottom. And in the course of the process, he slips down and arrests the people that are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and goes back and does that himself. And somebody took him out one night. He was murdered down in Depot Bottom, just right below where you turn in today to that location. And as the course of the process transpires, Fletch Woodard, not only being a photographer, also a medical doctor, helped with the autopsy of the marshal that was killed and all of these things. And shortly thereafter, we got to pin this on somebody. We can't let the world know who really did this, and they blame Fletch Woodard for that murder.
Park Theater opened in 1939, Bruce. October of 1939.
Yeah, October 18th of 1939, Park Theater opened Art Deco doors. They were still doing the Art Deco style. Opened those doors to a mass of humanity that bought tickets. A film was made. There is still some of that film available that we're hoping to digitize. At 6:30, 1,800 people piled into the auditorium of a 962-seat theater to see grand opening festivities. I don't know where the rest of the people sat, but good luck to them.
You know, I heard over 2,000 people went in Travis's Grill next door and had supper.
It's amazing. 6:30 till midnight, a 40-seat restaurant. It was a sandwich shop, actually, the most modern of its kind, with all that Art Deco styling. If you know anything about art and understand that term, it had to be a grand place with people from all over, everywhere visiting over the years. Happened back in the mid-1930s, Tony Sudicum of Crescent Amusement Company out of Nashville got with a Mr. Hill out of Tullahoma and became president of Cumberland Amusement Company as well. And he had the grand idea of building a bigger movie theater here in McMinnville. And during much discussion and interest, a theater was built here.
Now, Bruce, didn't we have other theaters on McMinnville at that time?
We had
on Main Street?
There was a lot of that took place on Main Street. You had Dixie Theatre, which opened, we talked about a murder just a little bit ago in our show. The house where Fletch Woodard lived eventually gave way to Maxwell Hotel, and that hotel was showplace for the original Dixie Theatre that moved next door to First National Bank in one of their buildings that they owned. On down further down the street was originally Star Theatre for what was then thought of as the black community, because there was all this segregation and people just couldn't be friends. And Count Odom, that was part of Cumberland Amusement Company, saw the benefit in things and bought that out, and all three theaters are now owned under the watchful eye of Tony Sudicum and Count Odom of Cumberland Amusement Company.
Now, Park Theater was part of that segregation that had two separate entrances, right?
Back in the good old days, as Park Theater was constructed, as we talked about, 962 seats, a double balcony. The lower half of the balcony was for the white visitors. The upper balcony was for the black visitors, with a separate entrance to the right-hand side of where the ticket window is today, next door to what is now Diamond Jewelry Company.
Right, right.
Let's talk about some of the tricks he was talking about. Count Odom.
Okay.
There were a lot of horror movies and other things that took place on the screen, and what a lot of people didn't know was an apartment/office was upstairs in Park Theater, but the upstairs apartment office was actually inside the balcony. So Count Odom is the person that was sneaking up, and you'd hear tapping under your feet and this and that and the other during certain movies when people were a little bit rowdy, and they calmed them down, did stuff. And that was mild compared to some of the tricks and pranks and things that he did. Do you remember what he said once?
He said, "I never pulled a prank on anyone I didn't like."
And that was true. Tennessean did a big story on him, and he outlined that it was always friends or so-called friends that he did these things. One of the most remembered stories, at some point in time, a Dr. Perry that was part of the Photographers Club here back in the 50s had bought one of the new shiny Volkswagen Beetles and talked about how grand it was and oh, how great the gas mileage. And Count Odom, let's just see how good a gas mileage that thing really gets. And one of his boys from the theater would slip every night to Perry's driveway and fill the gas tank. And he was getting excellent mileage. After so many weeks of time, the guy would go back and start siphoning out gas so that the car didn't have enough gas hardly to start. Well, I thought you had a good car there. Yeah. He was also a big prankster with other people and did a lot of things. A couple of stories. There's one story that's never been verified. Our High's funeral home that we plan to do a story on at some point was operated by John W. High about 1926. And the original High's funeral home, which is encased inside the building that's there now, was just a residence with John High living there, and he just recently sowed his yard down with beautiful grass in the hopes it would do well. And the worst trick you can pull on anyone with a nice lawn is to plant turnip greens. Somebody planted turnip greens all in that lawn one night. It was always accused on Count Odom, but we're not sure. But the worst thing that happened with John High and Count Odom, at some point, Odom slips to one of the theaters in Cookville, one of the other towns, and watches one of those naughty movies that never showed at Park Theater, and goes in, shakes hands with the manager, and who are you? And he says, I'm John High, I'm a mortician from McMinnville, and goes on about his business and come back home. And at some point, word gets out that John High has been watching X-rated movies, and the guys that worked for Count Odom at the theater said they heard the doors open and John High yelling Count Odom's name very loudly, hunting him throughout the course of that theater the next morning.
Oh my.
A lot of things.
You know, I heard that there was a fire in 1947.
Yeah, the building burned in 1947 as well here at the Park Theater. In addition to the pranks and things, there were a lot of serious things that went on. And in the month of September, on a Wednesday, a fire started on the stage area, electrical, and oddly there's a book that may still be available that was surveyed the year before that showed pictures of the three theaters we talked about, photographs of inside, what they all look like, and I've always wondered why that was done just months before a fire happened. It's always made me wonder about things, you know, kind of that ghost story-ish, did somebody set their own building on fire, but I kind of doubt it.
I doubt that.
But end result of all things, the fire burned for about 3.5 hours and destroyed a big part of what was inside the theater. The side of the building where we are here was home to Travis Grill originally. It was at this time home to Crouch Drugstore. The other side was the Serve All restaurant offering 5-cent hamburgers. Can you imagine that one? And those two businesses didn't sustain a lot of damage, and so after about a day of shutdown and cleanup, they were ready to open. But it took about 6 months from April till July of the next year, 15th of 1948, to redo the theater, complete with a new interior, brand new marquee, the same marquee that we see behind us today. And it opened to a grand audience. The seating had been expanded to 1,500 seats, and the original 1939 grand opening movie was shown after people bought their tickets to come in and see the festivities that night, along with movies and other things that took place. So it was a grand adventure yet again.
So, what happened to Park Theater? Why did it close down?
Good question. Did anybody in our listening audience ever buy a VCR and go to the rental place? You didn't buy a ticket at Park Theater, did you? It closed.
Bruce, I've never heard of a VCR.
Good.
What's a VCR?
Do your homework. VCR, the tapes that you install into a little box that replaces the DVDs of our day. But if the older ones of our listening audience ever bought VCR tapes or rented them instead of going to Park Theater, you helped close it. And the change in times. People were looking for different things, multiplex theaters versus the single movie house, so that mom could watch one movie while dad and the kids watched Ghostbusters or whatever it was on the other screen. And so just a lot of different things, but that's one of the things that literally brought an end to the single screen theaters, was that little box that we've all come to know and understand, and now it's DVD players and digital downloads.
Blu-ray.
And Blu-ray.
All right, so that shut down Park Theater.
Park Theater shut down 1986.
So in the 90s, was it just dormant?
Park Theater closed in 1986 on a Thursday night right before the fair was to start on the weekend in September. Transformers was the last movie officially shown at Park Theater when it closed, the original Transformers movie. A few months after it reopened to show some that were contracted to be run, and the only place to show them was Park Theater. The last one was My Little Pony.